what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a multimedia box, and this is the box that I've got, and these are readily available, and I will put the link to this and everything that I use in the description below. And this project has been inspired by a really good friend of mine, Dulce from Dulce's Creations on YouTube, and I will link her channel below. It's worth watching all the way through to see the different techniques that I'm going to be using. I will be using things like mica powder, translucent paint, also some iridescent paint, and some gold and silver leaf on them as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I now need to cover the box, and I want to put some texture on the box so it's not just a smooth finish. I've taken the hinges off, and I just have to take off the little bit there now, and that comes off really, really easy. They always do. And you just have to get a little screwdriver in there and take those off. But what a big tip I would give you is when you take these off, if you're anything like me, you'll lose them, because I've lost so many. So what I have is I have a little pot here that I use specially for all the bits. I just pop it in, clip it up, and put it somewhere safe. And then when I put it somewhere safe, there is a likelihood that I won't remember where that is, but at least they're not going to get scattered everywhere around. I'm not going to put texture on the bottom of the box, and I'm not going to put texture on the edges of the box either. So really what I'm looking for is just the sides and the top. And what I'll show you is how I do the top, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest. It's really quite a simple technique, but it works really well. All I use is some kitchen paper and some PVA glue. So I've cut a strip of kitchen paper and I've mixed up my PVA glue. And when I mean mix it up, all I mean is that I've added 50% of PVA glue, and then I've added the same amount of water to make it a nice thin mix. And then I don't put it on first. What I do is I brush it on to the actual paper like so, giving it a really good coating. And that'll soak through the paper, and then glue this nicely to the box. And then once I've done that, I'll let that soak in for a few minutes before I do the next stage. So that should be enough glue on there now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with my fingers and move that around a little bit to kind of give it a bit of a texture. Once I've got like that bit of texture going on there like so, I've got some sand, and then I will just scatter over the sand. That will get absorbed into the paper, and that will stick on there nicely. I'm only going to be putting the sand on the top because that's where the dragons are going to be. So this is all dried now, and it's got a nice bit of texture on it with the sand on the top and the texture on the side as well. And I've done all the sides. So what I need to do before I carry on any further is I'm going to paint it with the iridescent black paint from Arteza. I love this paint. I'm only going to paint the outside at the moment because I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the inside. I may divide it up to put different bits and pieces in. Pop the Arteza paint on it. And I do this very scientifically, as you can see. Like so. Get my brush and just go over the top of it. This is all dry now, and I'm really happy with how it's coming out. And what I'm going to do is I've got this edging ribbon here that I'm actually going to put around the edge. I'm going to pop this on using some just Mod Podge. Then I'm going to paint over it, and I'm hoping it just leaves like a faint real example of what this lace is and the pattern that's there. Paint it on the side like this, and then I'm just going to pop that on, line it up with that, with the edge there like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush that down using a little bit more of the Mod Podge so it sticks down. There we go. So I'm now ready to put the final touches to this box. I've got some smaller dragons that I've made, as you know, and I've painted those with the dragonfly glaze, and I've used the blue and the violet-y colour one for that. And then the box itself, even though it has got a nice sheen on it, I'm actually going to put a glaze on that as well, and I'm going to use the blue, green, gold shift for that one. And then go over the top, almost like a wash with it, because I want it to pick up in certain areas. It will still pick up that lovely iridescent paint underneath, but it will also have this other greeny gold to it as well, which I think will go really well with the dragons. I just now need to attach these to this. What I'm going to do first is, though, I am going to cover this in a very thin coat of resin. And because it's textured, you have to be extra careful, because what you don't want it doing is you don't want it all just pouring off. I really don't mind if I get some runs down the sides, because actually I think that'll add to the overall effect. So I've got my resin on there now, as you can see. And what I've done is I've given it enough on there to give it a gloss, but I've given it enough to allow a texture still to come through that I put underneath, because if not, there wouldn't have been any point in doing the texture. I'm really pleased with how that's come out. So all I now need to do is place on my dragons. I'm doing this by eye, and if I put that on, then what will happen is the resin itself will stick to this, and it will all remain in there and on there quite well. Quite happy with that placing. And now all I'm going to do is let that cure up. This lid is all cured now, and these dragons just aren't going to go anywhere. They're nicely embedded into the top of that. I'm really pleased how that's come out. I've also put the hinges back on and the clasp. I've just got to finish off the inside. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. And I've stuck the eyes on. Spooky. So all I need to do now is to stick the claws on where I'm going to want them. So what I've decided is, I've decided to put the claws on the back of the box as if it's something holding on to the box. And I'm going to put them around about there. And that should work quite well for the box. I'm going to put them towards the bottom so it doesn't hinder the opening of the box as well. I'm just going to use 5-minute epoxy, mix it up, stick it on the back, hold it down onto those claws, and then they'll be dry, and I'll show you what it looks like completely finished. So this is all finished now. I'm really pleased with it. I think my son's going to love this, to be able to keep his magic cards in. It opens up really, really nicely and easily. Everything's stuck on there. Nothing's going to go anywhere. It's got a great finish. I love the way the eyes have come out on the front. I think they look really, really good. And I also think the claws holding it around the back were a really good idea in the end. Much better than just placing them on the sides or on the top. And I think they've come out really well too. So let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you like this project. It's a great project. I love making mixed media projects. And I love incorporating resin into them and molds and things. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you'd like to say thank you and help me continue buying products and different bits and pieces, then there's also the Buy Me a Coffee link. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and make yourself a great box. Bye.